It is nearly a given that the Coopers will grieve for George Sr. because Georgie and Mandy's first marriage takes place immediately after young Sheldon. Georgie's grieving for the Cooper grandfather was clearly evident in First Marriage Season 1. But Sheldon couldn't accomplish this with his family, and TBBD demonstrated that he couldn't do it by himself either. In young Sheldon, George's death demonstrated how deeply the tragedy affected Sheldon, as he constantly recounted his final exchange with his father. It was easier to ignore the loss after moving to California, since it looked ahead to Sheldon's future, and Sheldon's description of George in TBBD showed that he concentrated on the less sentimental parts of their connection. The timeline of Big Bang Theory was unable to depict Sheldon's initial reaction to George Sr.'s passing, but First Marriage, when Sheldon makes a comeback in the Young Sheldon spinoff, does. In the TBBT rendition of the character, Sheldon's metamorphosis and the Coopers' divergent approaches to mourning George will probably be considerably more apparent. Unfortunately, this will make Sheldon's potential visit to Georgie and Mandy's first marriage even more tragic, because he would need to be clearly separated from the Coopers in order for his discovery of his chosen family to occur, as it did in the Big Bang Theory. In addition to helping the Young Sheldon spinoff establish itself, Sheldon's absence from Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1 also initiated a devastating plot point that recurred frequently in the Big Bang Theory. First Marriage had to distance itself from the parent series because it shared many characters with young Sheldon, particularly with Sheldon Cooper. Georgie and Mandy would have been the first spinoff to focus only on the socially awkward genius, as Sheldon was the main character in both Young Sheldon and The Big Bang Theory. Since the spinoff couldn't have depended too much on the genius, Sheldon's absence was crucial in First Marriage Season 1. Nevertheless, this unavoidably sparked a depressing TBBT tale. Only Halloween was a joyful occasion because it was so appropriate for the gang to dress up as their favorite superheroes, even as a team. The Big Bang Theory consistently gave a different explanation for Sheldon's contempt for each holiday. But after First Marriage Season 1, Sheldon's justification for not celebrating Thanksgiving gets even more heartbreaking. In Big Bang Theory Season 7, Episode 9, Sheldon first refused to celebrate Thanksgiving because he wanted to stick to his customs, which included griping about Leonard's cuisine instead of attending a party at Mrs. Wolowitz's. The single Thanksgiving episode of Young Sheldon's second season, Episode 9, previously demonstrated how the Coopers' holiday wasn't always joyful. This regrettable custom was maintained at the start of Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage Season 1, Episode 5, when Mary refused to celebrate Thanksgiving. But thanks to Georgie, Missy, and Mary's picnic beside George Sr.'s gravestone, the day ended sweetly and allowed the Coopers to commemorate the milestone while also acknowledging their loss. Sheldon was still unable to accompany them. Sheldon's unavoidable alienation from the Coopers was tragically brought to light by his absence from First Marriage Season 1, Episode 5. Georgie and Missy did not show up very often, but Mary continued to remain in his life. Although TBBT frequently discusses their separation, it is particularly painful to watch the Coopers mourn George together because Sheldon was never given the opportunity to share that experience with his family. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos.